Welcome to the Courage to Succeed podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Harris. The Courage to Succeed podcast is about delivering information that support the development of small businesses. We offer suggestions of business improvement for your consideration based on our decades of business ownership experience. The Courage to Succeed podcast is available on Amazon, Apple, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Brought to you by Shore LLC, a full-service small business consulting firm that specializes in deploying first-hand knowledge gained from decades of experience using the resources of time-tested and proven associates to advise and guide you towards a path of successful growth. In other words, we've been there and done that. Today's topic, proposal response strategies. It is my opinion that all proposal responses should begin with a bid, no bid decision. The bid, no bid decision is a step process that can be designed by a committee of stakeholders and contributors and used to ensure that the opportunity is worth the effort and cost. The proposal cost consists of the direct labor and materials or tools needed to put together a response, as well as the indirect cost of items like possible missed opportunities, work production, or distraction on other projects. So the bid or no bid checklist should be used to guide you through some key decision points. Some of the areas or elements to consider include: do you have any intelligence on the requirement? Number 2, do you have a relationship with any part of the client organization? What is your capacity? Are you in a good financial position to successfully start or complete the project? Number 5, do the requirements fit your business goals? Will you need additional resources like subcontractors or special tools? Do you have past performance? These are just a few of the questions. The bid, no bid list can go up to 20 or more elements that you want to examine prior to deciding to respond. And that's just the beginning. The Courage to Succeed podcast is sponsored by Shore LLC, offering business development, customer acquisition, certification applications, proposal writing, and business guidance services. Once you've made that decision, you will form your team and make assignments. Your team may be internal if you have the pieces to put in place. Of course, you always have the option of outsourcing your proposal writing efforts. Once you make the decision to move forward with a response, you will need to finalize the win strategy. Most proposals require a technical response and a separate price response. Your strategy will impact both sections. On the technical portion, you want to pull together any customer information that you or your team has available to ensure that you are properly addressing the specific customer requirements. You must clearly demonstrate in your response that you understand the requirements and that you have a solution to every part of the proposal requirements. Keep in mind that while you may be impressed with aspects of your company and want to share that excitement with the potential customer, the customer is only interested in the specific need that is in front of them and want to read about your capability, proof of previous success on similar requirements, and your stability. You will have opportunities to share how wonderful your company is, but make sure your primary focus is on the solution. Next, as you get into the pricing section, you want to think through a competitive price strategy. You will want to have at hand all of the specific and related costs. Ensure that your response also considers and includes any additional costs like G&A or general and administrative, overhead, and fringe benefits. Most importantly, don't forget to include the desired but a reasonable profit. Your market intelligence should give you some indication of where that should be. If not, work with your accountant or team partners to come up with the correct numbers. As I've mentioned in other podcast shows, you need to be careful to consider the competition in the marketplace and decide if your strategy needs adjustments based on your customer acquisition goals or your market penetration objectives. Finally, make sure that someone on your team is responsible for the compliance portion of your response. Their responsibility will include making sure that every required document is included and, most importantly, properly signed. You may be surprised at the number of potential winners that are not selected because they are not in compliance. Many evaluators minimize the level of effort on their part by weeding out responses that are not compliant due to missing signatures or missing documents. That way they only have to spend time reviewing responses that meet the basic requirements before even seeing the technical or price response. There are several proposal preparation processes that you can have in place ahead of time to be efficient and save time and cost on your proposal response strategy. One final tip. If you are required to deliver the proposal response in hard copy, make sure you take someone with you or deliver a day in advance. If you are permitted to submit electronically, start the submission process a day in advance of the due date. You would be surprised how technology can suddenly have issues right when it's up against the deadline. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Courage to Succeed podcast. For more information on developing a strong proposal response strategy, reach out to me through the Shore LLC website at scottupshaw.net. That's scottupshaw.net. This Courage to Succeed podcast is sponsored by Shore LLC and is available wherever you get your podcasts. Episodes can also be found on our website at www.scottupshaw.net. I'm your host, Dennis Harris.